Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a watch that was originally launched back in 2018, but as you see it here, a 2023 update of this long-running model. It is the Tudor Black Bay 41, now with a manufacturer movement, technically sophisticated and aesthetically refined. 41 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It's 12.3 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 50.2 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it wears large. If you're going to own one of these time-only Black Bays, that is not a dive watch, not a rotating bezel, no chronograph, GMT function, or date, this is the one that's going to get the most wrist presence. And as you can see, it is a broad timepiece. I actually recommend this watch for wrists my size or larger. So if your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, you're good to go. If your wrist is smaller, there are smaller versions of this exact model, and I recommend those. You can see down the barrel that these lugs are approaching the edge of my wrist. And I will say it is a great watch for wearing with a tight dress sleeve because it is flat, it has a sloped bezel, it'll easily slide underneath the cuff. The bracelet is much like a Rolex Jubilee, and of course Tudor and Rolex are sister companies. We have a conforming end link, we have polished small intermediates. It is an all-solid link bracelet. Outer faces are polished, flanking links are satinated. You can see there is a pronounced taper from the end link all the way down to the clasp. Removable links on both sides, you have several of them, are fixed by screws. Clamshell locking mechanism. Internally, you can see ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps. The idea of using ceramic here is that the steel can never aggress against the ceramic and wear it down and create ropey or worn-out tolerances. This will always be snappy. Thick gauge, single fold deployant, and we have the T-fit system here, which is a incremental sizing mechanism with 8 millimeters of total adjustable range. You just pull it to unlock it, and then you move it into position. So you pull and pull, just like that. Very easy to use, user-friendly. The clasp is thick gauge steel. It feels high quality. You can see the closure is robust. It even gives you a little kerf underneath the Tudor Shield logo to lift it up more easily and then raise your clasp and insert your wrist. Rolling around to the case, pretty simple. Tapered lug profiles, we have these nostalgic vintage-inspired bevels, polished case flank, satin lug hoods. The bezel has a little outer lip and then a conical profile. We have here a crown, which is a screw down. You can see the vintage Tudor Rose logo, so mid-1968 back. And then on the dial, we have the Tudor Shield logos, like mid-1968 forward. The dial does bear a striking resemblance to a couple of different historic Tudors, including the chapter ring Submariners of the 50s and 60s, and then the late 60s through mid-70s snowflake dial, especially with respect to that hour hand. We've got a gilt chapter ring a la 1950s and 60s subs. And everything here is rose gold plated. We've got a lovely metallic sunburst from center. It's a sort of anthracite, somewhere between silver and black. And as you can see, the indices are slightly off-white. They're not full-blown Fotina, but they're a nice complementary color that matches the dial, as well as the printing, as well as the rose gold plating of the primary dial features. There is a stop seconds function. You can see that all three hands are luminescent, which is always nice because it proves to you that the watch is running even in the dark. The timepiece, via its screw-down crown, has plenty of water resistance, well over 100 meters. Flipping it all over, taking a look at the back. This 100-meter watch is partly so because it has a screwed-in oyster-style case back. Now, this is not an oyster case, but you can see the family resemblance. Inside, a big difference between this watch for 2023 and the 2018 original is that manufacturer caliber. It's a Tudor MT5601 automatic winding, 70-hour power reserve. It does have the hacking seconds function, a 4 hertz beat rate, 5-position adjustment, a COSC Swiss chronometer certification, and all the peripherals, including a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance for shock tolerance, and an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring. If you love this watch, reach out to me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.